So I saw some bit of this game, and there's a few things that I would like to help you out with. So your jungle starts, and your flare curio thing is all good, and also going beats is fine as well for the most part. But this isn't really much of a beats game because if you like the matchups here, the only CC that they have on the team that you should be afraid of is his audio, her cripple, and his Kern's ult. Yeah, you're not really worried all that much about your knockup about on her CC. Now this nut could be an issue if she's going the aspect, which I actually don't know. But but this is a pretty good blink game here, but this is still fine anyways. Now you're going through health potions, which is something that I do not recommend doing. And the reason why is because if you go through health potions, you're not really going to get much value out of using all three of them. And if you're using three of them before your first back, then there's obviously way too much fighting happening, and if there, to the point where there's just a lot of things going wrong that should not that shouldn't be happening in the first place. So the reason why that I don't like the three health potions is because going three pots instead of two means spending an extra 50 gold, and I'd much rather put that extra 50 gold into getting my first hit to on a power spike. Now, I did point out at the very start of this game, which I didn't see the full game, but I saw most of it. Well, like the first half, I guess. And I'll cover more into that, but yeah, just go two health potions, save the 50 gold, and you'll be good. Okay, so do not use both of your uh, abilities on the heartbeat camp. You only need to use a bow stance on it. So as soon as this camp spawns, oh my god, I have to do this real quick. Let's see. There we go. Hold on. So right now you should be in bow stance. As soon as it spawns, you shoot the auto at the big minion. Bow stance 3 it. Auto the big minion again, and your bonus hammer will clear the two sides, and then you just auto like on two more times and it's dead. And then whenever you go to the Scorpion camp, you'll wait a few seconds while uh, you be in bow stance. You pull it over here. Wait on 5 seconds left on the cooldown of your bow stance. Then then when your bow stance 3 is on 5 seconds, you switch to axe stance here. You jump on the camp. Then as soon as you land, you you stance switch. That way, it'll reduce the protections. Plus, you get the damage off on your axe stance 3. It'll reduce the protections, which will make you do just a bit more damage with your bow stance 3. And And right here, the Scorpion Camp will always shoot its own poison thing after like 3 hits. So try to position yourself like around here. That way, whenever it does shoot it, it'll shoot right there. And you never want to sit in this pool because yeah, you sit in this pool for too long and you're already forced to use one health potion, which feels really really bad because you lost basically almost half of your health of just that one camp because of the poison damage that you took. Submitting jungler here is fine. There's not much to really talk about. I personally wouldn't use your accents right here. Just the jump on skim is fine enough. Because if you save the axe here, then then you run up to the camp, auto axe auto, you get the bonus damage from your bonus hammer. Then you stand switch to use your three, and the and this camp just dies. I mean, very micro stuff, but it's always these small things that count. And now, right here, this is where I will go into to big detail about. I played this right now, and it's good on you to recognize that you guys don't win this fight. But let's go back here. So you're fighting Kern Aspect Jungle, which I assume, and now Kern Jungle is actually really strong. He has insane damage, and this and while you're Uller, you can't fight this guy somewhat, but at the start of every game, you should always look at the 2v2 matchup in the jungle mid. Now it's you and Janus versus a Kern Nut. Their 2v2 is obviously way stronger, which is very clear right here. Because you're scared to fight this because if you know that if you do fight it, you're not gonna kill anyone here just because there's not enough damage between you guys. And and there's not much that you can really do here, but when it comes to fight potential, because you guys can't fight this, you can't win this 2v2 unless they hard troll somehow, but that's likely not to happen. However, there's something that you and Janus have over them that they don't really they can't really do, and that is your camp secure. Your Uller, your bow stance 3-1 is insane camp secure. So if you were to position yourself like all the way right here, assuming they're trying to not push to not pressure you out, then you could try to 50-50 the camp with your bow stance 3-1, which is like on 400 damage, like is secure. And if your Janus was in a better spot, he also has this 2 for good secure on this camp as well. Now the only secure ability they have is Kern's 2 or his dash. And that's why that's more of a 50-50, but your burst sense 3-1 does more damage than his 2 or his 3. So that is something that you have over them that you can definitely look out for in future games. So there's the fight potential on how strong your 2v2 like PvP is, and then there's the camp secure which you which you have over these guys. But you join us this one away, so there's not a whole lot that you can do. And this is also talks I'll also say something else about the jungle starts. If you look at the 2v2 matchups, if you're not sure if you can win the the fight or the contest on these mid camps, then one thing that you can do at the very start of each game is, oh my God. So one thing that you can do at the start of each game is to use your your free ward. You teleport to the mid mid tier 1 tower. You place your free ward on the speed buff, and then when you back, and then you get your flare. You notice that you still have the 90-second cooldown from using the shard. So just place your free ward down there to have an idea on which start the other jungler is doing. And there's also one other very cool way to know if to know which start the other jungler is doing, even if you have no vision. And I did talk about this in a video that I made yesterday, which I'll actually send to you afterwards. And that is every time that I start the game and I clear this first camp, hold tab and pull up the scorecard and check the the jungler's gold count. If his gold count matches yours exactly, then he's doing the same stuff that you are. And if it doesn't, then he's doing some other sort. And and if this is me right here, I'm constantly checking tab to see this guy's gold count. And if he does Scorpion start, but he starts Scorpion first, you'll be able to tell if his gold count spikes up by like 115, which is how much you get for this game right here. Actually, actually 114. So some people will start Scorpion itself and then do back camps and then the Red Cyclops. So just always monitor the gold count. If their gold count immediately shoots up to more than to more than 100 gold, then you know that they did the Scorpion camp itself. And the reason why that knowing which start they do matters is because if you don't have a favorable matchup, like let's say you are Aladdin early game into a current aspect jungle, your current aspect destroys Aladdin early game. Uh, Aladdin's early game is so weak that he can't win any direct confrontation against a jungler. And if you do the same start as the other jungler, you'll be doing the exact same. You'll be pretty much doing the exact same j- 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 jungle routes as they will. So you'll most likely meet them at the same gank rotations, at these Oracle camps again. And if you're not in a favorable matchup, which you which Euler versus Kern is actually quite neutral for you, but let's say that you're Aladdin, you don't want to run into this guy a lot. So if you know which start that they're doing, then you just start the Cyclops speed into to Cyclops red start while they're doing Scorpion start. That way he shows up here at these oracles and he show up at this mid camp. So instead of going for a losing situation like this, you instead go for a safer, more guaranteed play. Now it's still not favorable for you, but it's much better than you losing both mid camps, which you do here. Which I Okay, which is actually a huge mistake by these guys. They did not. No, go for the camp. Alright, so you want to gank this guy right here. If was Okay, the jump that you made here, I don't mind too much. It's just that if she was aware, she will hear your jump and it would immediately start backing up. But this guy must have been deaf. So you want to rush this gank here, which I like the enthusiasm, but and you also don't want to show yourself too much here. But it, if you said run right here and then you jump over this gap, even by the time she sees you, you'll already be right on top of her. Whereas right here, if any player has ears, they'll hear this jump and then immediately start running away. Because if you said jump like right here, you'll be like right here, which is way closer, and it's actually a bit of distance that you have to cover. Well, it could mean the difference between someone living or dying. Now this seems very nitpicky, which because I don't really want to sound like that, but I just want to cover this stuff just in case. Now, so you get a beads, and this is the thing about ULLR. You don't want to rush his full combo as soon as you axe somebody too much, just because most of the time people will insta beats the axe like this. Actually, slow this down. Wait a bit. There we go. Because I definitely feel like he could have killed her here had he been more patient. And And this will sound very nitpicky again, but I've had this happen countless times to me when I played ruler. Every time that you axe and then insta combo, if they beat, it'll be very hard to actually confirm the damage just because you're not expecting which which area which area they move to. So most people will just insta pop beats, especially on the first gank. Now this is somewhat fine, however, oh my god, your spacing here was a bit off, and, and this is something else that I also say. So you missed a three here, which is fine, and then right here, don't don't continue to auto her at all. You instead want to keep moving forward without autoing, without using your basic attacks because when you basic attack, you slow yourself. And she's running like towards this direction. And we said run this area, you sort of close gap a bit more, and then you can auto her. And and the reason why that I'm emphasizing right here to not continue basic attacking like this, because this extra basic attack, you're you're slowing yourself down by a lot. If you instead keep running right here, most players will say, "Oh, hey, this guy is right next to me. I want to try and drink his autos." Because if you're like right here instead, and you start spatting right here, and she's like right here, you'll be way closer to her than from right here to right here. So at this point, she'll try to juke your bow stance one because she knows that it's still up. And if she tries to juke it, she'll be slowing herself down before she goes into tower range. And then if you play patiently, most players will try to juke the one, right? Similar to how they try to juke your axe. But if you let them juke themselves out a little, you'll be able to read where they're moving, and then you just pump all your damage out. Now you probably couldn't kill her, assuming this guy misses portal, but let's say that the situation that I explained what's happened is she tries to continue juking yourself, then it could also lead to your teammates being able to pump out a bit more damage. Now this is very, very micro stuff, and this one example that I will show you where I did exactly that when I played Pele, but, but I'll show it to you afterwards. And so I don't mind you going for this gank, and let's see. I don't mind you going for the gank over here, but I wouldn't I wouldn't recommend going for this gank just because they have two teammates here that can warn this audio. Hey, this Uller is in your side of the jungle. You have to play back right now. And if this guy does play back, you can never kill him. But for the simple fact that this is ranked, this is a nice play to do. And now this audio does place the ward right here, which does which does which does tell us that they did warn her. And now, and you're very lucky that the ward didn't catch vision of you, because if she had vision of you, the chances of you killing her would be very low. But fortunately, this works out. So ideally, I wouldn't go for this gank if this was a more of a real match. Instead, you should go for this back camp here, or you just split this wave right here. Ideally, you would want to split the wave and then go to your back camp, but just because this is ranked, spam ganking is very broken in this game because people just are not disciplined enough. And this is where wait, what's your gold count at? You should have enough gold. Where is it? Bro, do you not have your gold count displayed? I can't see this anywhere. I don't see your gold count anywhere. How much gold do you have? Okay, so I don't know if you have your oh it's right here. It's right here. Okay. So I noticed that in this game you started building also in Spear, which I will talk about first, but if you're okay, before these rocks spawn, you before rocks spawn, you want to have already backed so you can spend this gold. And the reason why that I am saying this, as soon as you get this gank done and you split the wave, which is fine, you should immediately back right here. Because if you back now, you have enough to afford Crusher 2-2. The the 35 strength Lucran Hammer is very OP to have for rocks. And since you're going also in Spear, you want to immediately back and buy it because it's 1250 gold. Because if you back right now and then you have that extra 35 strength, you will clear this camp on the way and then you'll still show up for these rocks on time. You'll be like 1 5 seconds late, but still but it's still more than fine enough. And and the reason why that I want to say this is because now when you go to these rocks, you are significantly weaker than if you had had instead just backed and gone and gotten your next few items here. Okay, so this is something else that I will say as well. Cause see, the rocks spawn while you're clearing this, and these guys aren't even here. So right here, this is something that I noticed right when you started doing these rocks. Your Thor just got ganked. Now you have no pressure from solo lane. Now you do have mid pressure, so this is still somewhat fine. But when it comes to rocks, you should always look at the lane state in both mid and solo and see who has pressure and who does not. If you're running up to rocks and you let's say that this Thor let's say that the Thor was already dead and and you have the wave shoved up, you won't have any solo pressure at all, and it'll make contesting these pretty damn hard. Because the moment that I saw this game happening live and I saw your Thor died, there's a very good chance they could both rotate over here and it can be a bit messy. So in my mind, I was I was basically screaming at you to pop one of your health potions because they're most likely going to contest this, and if you have extra health here, which I actually was monitoring your health in this whole fight. Yeah, they both all came over here. They said 199 health while you had like 100 something. Let's see. Oh, I wanna go back here. It'll be a bit hard to see. Now this is some very micro shits. You had 105 health. You can't really see it. An extra 100 health would have been quite significant here. So the moment that this happened, if you had popped your health potion right here at 312, 13 seconds have passed, an extra 130 health. 14 seconds. An extra 140 health, you would have lived here. Like, now, again, this sounds like like very nitpicky stuff, but every time that you think a fight's gonna happen, even if they end up not coming over, when something like this happens, you should always pre-pop a a health potion just to be safe, because you never know how these situations will play out in ranked. Yeah, there's so much more that you could have done different for that play. And now I will cover the build. Okay, let's see, 4739. Let's see. I don't like also in Spear anymore as jungle. I feel like this item is completely worthless for the most part, just because for what you're getting, it's less value than if you were to get some other items like, because okay, also in Spear is really good damage. It is 60 strength, and it gives you basically and it reduces their protections when you hit them with abilities. Now that is really good damage, but that's all it is. It is only damage. It hardly provides any value for your team as a whole. The only time you will ever see me build also in Spear now is if I either have four physical characters on my team, which you do, so this would be some value, or they have well, they have three tanks on the team with the tank jungler that you want to, to make sure that they can shred and do as much damage as you can. But besides that, I don't go Ozone Spear on almost on every jungler, just because there's just other items that give you more value. Like for example, there's a new combat blink that you can go. There's Mage Eyes. There's also Bloodforge. There's some more cooldown items that you want to go. And even Bard Carver, I actually did do so much. I actually did do a lot of damage testing. Bard Carver does more than Ultimate Spear for ULLR, and for full combo characters like Thor and Loki. As crazy as it sounds, Bard Carver by itself in a full combo does more than Ultimate Spear. So if you're looking for damage, you don't want to get Ultimate Spear at all. And for the build, you should always go Hydras first, Transcendence second, and a third item could be either Heartseeker into Titan's Bane, or you can go another item like Crusher into Heartseeker and then Titan's Bane. But those five items that I just said, Hydras, Chance, Crusher, Heartseeker, Titan's Bane, you should always build those five items on ULLR all the time. Now, I noticed in this game you didn't build Transcendence. Now, you need Transcendence for ULLR because he's the only god that has mana problems in this game. Now, when you do hit late game and you get your full build online, you won't really notice the mana problems as much. But in a more prolonged fight and the way that ULLR wants to play from a distance, you'll quickly feel the lack of mana that you have without Transcendence, which I did notice a few times in this game that I'll show you later. So always go those core five items, and I was also doing some bit of damage testing while you were in game. Just let's see what's happening here. Okay, so Hydra's is 2450 gold, Crusher is 2600 gold, and when you get either of those two items first at around level 6, Oathsworn is only doing like around 10 more damage in the full combo than Hydra's. And not to mention, Hydra's also gives you mana sustain plus cooldown, which ULLR really, really loves. So you should always go Hydras first in any ULLR build, and then Transcendent second. Okay, now we're gonna continue to this. This is fine pathing, but this is also where the Scorpion Swords can, let's see. Now this is where I got baited by the, bu- and this is where I got baited by the Scorpion Swords stuff here. And you want to go for these back camps and then go to your red buff, but you should always follow the exact same camp, the exact same farm route that you do. So after these rocks, unfortunately, you did die here. When looking at the camp timers, you should immediately run over to this red buff and and then clear it. And that now this would be more fine to go for this back camp right here if you didn't die as soon as you did over here. If you had gone out and then in the back, you would have enough time to go for this and then go for your red win spawns. But just because of what happened here, you should be on this camp time as soon as possible. And being on these camp times as soon as you can and making sure that your rotations are in sync is 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 core for every jungler. If you're not on your camp timers as soon as they spawn, you will, if you're not doing it in an even game and the other jungler is, they will have a significant lead over you throughout the match. Now they're playing for the invade here, which is not very good, but they have the pressure to do so. Now you did get it, which is very huge, and as you recognize you can kill this guy. I don't know how you missed that, but nice job here. Okay, so now you're just kind of running here trying to get a gank. We know that they did the Scorpion start because they met you at these oracles. The moment you kill this guy, they invaded your red buff, which tells as soon as it spawned, which tells us they do not have enough time ever to go and do theirs because your camp timers match theirs. Right now, yes, these oracles are up, and, and this red mid is also up, and the speed buff is also spawning too. But you have a really good opportunity now to invade, go to these mid camps, and then go to speed, and then you'll have a significant uh, mid pressure in this game. You have a If you have an opportunity to invade like this for free, while still having plenty of time to still do these mid camps, because this current will be dead for another 7 seconds, and then you still have to get out of base. This is more than enough time for you uh, to look for this invade and then go for these oracles at the very least, and then to speed. Now, one thing that you can do here is since you're here already, you can help shove this Raven a bit to make sure this node is pressured out. Now, unfortunately, your Genesis is low mana, it, but you still have more than enough time to invade the red here. Go to your mids and then go to speed. Because now you guys get the speed buff. He gets those circles, and you get this. So instead of getting 4 camps, you got 3 camps, and and also, and, and if you think about it this way, you gave up. You essentially gave up 5 camps for 3 camps. Because if you take their camp away from them, that camp is given to you, and it's a camp taken away from them. So you can sort of you can sort of see the value of this red buff being 2 camps, 3, 4, 5. So now you're doing your competitions here. Okay, so I will talk about the 5 minute to 5 minute 30 mark. Now this is a very awkward spot because if you want to farm all these camps and then get to these rocks on time, if you notice right here, the rocks are already spawned while you're down here. By the time you would run over to these rocks when they spawn, it would have been a minimum 10 seconds that you're not here, that if this current shows up, he has at least 10 seconds to clear before you can ever show up here. So the 5 minute to 5 minute 30 mark, by the time that you were to clear this, you have you have enough gold to afford Ozone Spear now. At least if I'm seeing the math right, 550 plus, yeah, yeah, you have enough gold to fully buy your Ozone Spear. Now, yes, your camps are coming up right now, but you want to be on time for these rocks as well. So if you really want to min max the the hell out of this, you could back right now, get your Ozone Spear, and then rush straight over to these rocks and make sure that you can try to get them, and then in the farming camps here. But this is still a good play. Now the play that I made is quite risky, but ideally you want to be on these rocks every time they spawn in jungle, and that's usually why if you're more farm oriented like I am, you'll oftentimes be playing more on like on this side-ish part of the map instead of really going for dual lane. But ideally, you want to make sure you're on these rocks as soon as they spawn, because obviously these rocks are the most valuable camp in the map. They give you the most gold and also the permanent sacks helping out so much. And it'll feel worse if this current gets these sacks because he has dual scaling, and this gives you +1 strength and +1 int each. So that's also another reason why you want to be on those camps as soon as you can. Because right now you're still in a fine spot to even do this. Because if you notice here, you pop your eye, this Kern's in the right side of the jungle. It's still fine for you to go for the Cyclops camp at the very least, because you pick this up, you get some nice mana sustain. You right here, you would ideally want to go to these camps and try to make sure that they can get them, because sometimes some junglers will be caught lacking, like for example you are right now, and they won't show up to these rocks. Because we saw him right here, because his camps are also up as well. You pop it here, and you notice he's also in this area because his three camps are up right now. This is an opportunity to try and sneak this while they're doing this, and then you go to your camps. But if you look at the map states, your Thor has no pressure, so this is still a fine play anyways. But I just wanted to explain all that to you so you can know in the future. You don't fit the gold, uh, like I said earlier. Okay, they have a Yone support, which is a bit crazy. So you want to go for the gank in dueling because it's on stepped up, which is a nice play. And this is especially more important considering who this honor is. If you shut this guy down, and you'll be in a much more favorable spot. Now I did see this happen, and this is so unfortunate here. Yeah. All right, let's let's play this back a bit. Oh my God, I hate how this is minus 10 seconds each time. Yeah, so I like the jump follow up, but there's no. But as soon as you jump, you immediately turn over this direction, which actually sort of messes you up a bit here, because now you just wasted an entire second not not hitting this guy, Now, I assume you turned that way so you don't get impaled by this honor. If you're really worried about the impale, just as soon as you jump on top of him, you pre-beads and then you do full combo. Because he has no jump, he's just a sitting duck right here. And then right here, I don't know how the minions followed him all the way over here, and unfortunately your Apollo gets fucked. Now, right here, this is where you we kind of mess up, because you switch to both stance, and now it'll make it way harder for you to confirm damage on him, because had you been in X stance, you would have just auto him right here, which feels really bad. And then the current comes over here, and you just kind of screwed sadly. You miss the X, which is fine. This fine right here. You pre-beats, you you stance switch 3-1 him, and he's just kind of cooked. But another way they can look at it is as soon as you jump here, pre-beats. If you pre-beats while sitting as close to him as you can, while you're in X stance, you'll continue to keep arting him down, and then when he's low enough, you just bow stance 3-1 him, and while you're still right on top of him, because it'll make it way easy for you to hit your 3-1, and and it could have potentially led to a kill here. Yeah, these minions being here completely screwed you over. I don't know how. I don't know when this change happened, because minions would just never go into jungle like this before. But yeah, unfortunately, the worst possible outcome happened. Yeah, there's not much more you could have done there. It's just you got screwed over by the minions so hard. All right, let's see. You want to contest gold? If you're teleporting over here in the idea to do gold, yeah, you're a bit too late now. Okay, somehow this Apollo stole it, which is very, very good. But let's say he didn't steal it. You teleport it over here. I would not go for this back camp at all. Instead, run straight over to this this gold fury, and what I said earlier, your bow stance 3-1 is really good secure. So there's a decent chance that you can potentially steal gold fury from these guys. Because if you look here, they only have a Yorm, a a Nut, and a Kern. They don't really have that much crowd control that you're really afraid of. Because the only crowd control this Yorm has is his knockup, and you'll see him when he goes into his knockup ability. They have current roots with cripple, which could be a problem, but he should never be able to hit it while you're still in range of your 3-1. And this nuts, I think if she's going aspect, it could be a problem. But if you at least show up and at least try to steal it, and try to steal it with your 3-1, it- you should always go for the chance here. But very, very lucky the Apollo stole it. A nice kill. Yeah, so this is the time of the map where with okay, this is the one time where doing Scorpion Start can feel a bit weird, because if you do Scorpion Start, whenever this ritual spawns, your speed buff will also spawn at the exact same time. So so that's something to watch out for. But okay, so if you look at the map save right now, there's not much that you can really do over here, because we know that you both did the same camp timers, and we both know that th that these camps are most likely not up. Now it's so good that you come to check over just in case this guy was caught lacking, but if you notice your red buff just spawned, and if we look back to the last time that spawned, they invaded it, which means their red buff is on a delayed timer because you didn't invade it sooner. So you have at least a 30-second window to invade the red buff. So there's not much to really be gained here. So during this time, try to rush over to this red and split it with your Janus, because as jungle, you want to try and share as much farm as you can because you are the strongest role in the game until late game where the most important team person is the carry, but for the vast majority of the game, the jungler is the most important person in the map because you have the most influence in the entire map. You can basically decide if a lane wins or loses. So you go to this red buff, share it, and then go to the rocks when they spawn. Now going for this Arctic gank is also nice, just because she's a bit stepped up. So this is still a fine play. Oh, nice. Now this is kind of troll of Iguan to come over here. There's no reason for him to be over here. Yeah, not sure what your mid and support are doing here because the ritual is up. Your support and your mid are just trolling, which is not what you can do about teammates are ranked. But ideally, this should be here, and why you go for the gank over here, because you going for this gank is still really good. Because if you pressure this out and these guys are here in mid to make sure they can't really do it all that well, then then you and the Thor could they come over to this, but this is just ranked, so this level the macro just doesn't w- would just not happen. And now I'll also cover more about the rituals and the meta. And okay, so if you remember the 2v2 matchup that I explained earlier with you in the mid versus the jungler in the mid, the 3v3 matchup in mid, the jungle, mid, and support also matters a lot in draft just because of the ritual being here in the mid lane. If you look at your draft, you have Guan, Janice, ULLR. They have Kern, Yorm, Nut. Their damage output is way higher than yours. However, what you guys do have over them is essentially setup. If you can land an axe on somebody who's not the Yorm and your Janice follows up with a combo, then if you guys play off or if you guys were to play off Guan Sun, then that's the only way that you can really look for a play on this ritual. Otherwise, their fight potential is just way better than yours. So if they all show up here at the ritual and you guys show up there as well, it could feel kind of bad because you guys can't really get the pressure needed to get them off unless you solo lane with to unless you solo or ADC with it over, which they both have global ults, which is actually possible. But unfortunately, that's not a thing. So you guys most likely wouldn't be able to get the ritual if all three if you guys show up when you did, but you can still go for the rocks and look for the red buff invade while they're doing ritual. Because at this time the red buff should be spawning. Oh, see, do you have vision on this current? He's right there. Yeah, so we probably don't have heavy circle set, which is fine. Okay, if you notice a lot of this time, you just very low on mana, and that's also why going Hydra's first for the mana sustain is just very, very good. Because if you notice, like around here, you have 250, then you go down to like 230, and then 265, then then like on 300. Just always go Hydra's first. Those Alright, so you go for the gank on this guy, which is good here. Ooh, unfortunate. Nice. He should be fine without you here. The mid and jungle is a mid. A nice kill. Okay, for some reason this Yorm ran in to the two of you without having an ult, because this guy's just a bot. But normally, if I see a Yorm going in like this, I am I am probably not going to go on him just because if he has ultimates, you guys can't really kill him because he just ults out and you can't do anything. So it's just more time wasted. But this guy's just a bot, so he gets points for it. Nice job. Okay, now right here is where I say you just killed the carry and the supports. Go split this gold camp and and basically tax the gold camp plus the next wave off this Apollo, which will feel kind of bad because he's behind. But if you want to win ranked games, you have to be very selfish because you just killed two. Because you just killed the ADC and support. If you tax all this stuff, you'll be feeling really, really good. And this Apollo will feel bad and he might hit you for it. But if you want to win games, if you want to win ranked games, you have to play very selfishly. So if you split all that and then go to your camps, you'll be feeling really, really good. And ULLR is able to pump up really, really well. Whereas if you give this Apollo this farm, he's already in a losing matchup anyways, especially versus a pro like Zen. So even if you give him the farm, he's just not gonna get much value from it. Nice, nice kill on him. Alright, now you get the kill on the nuts here. So now you have free pressure in the mid lane because his Yorm can't really do much by himself. You should okay for jungle. You should always go for these. You should always go for the neutral farm. The neutral farm in Smite 2 is so fucking valuable compared to Smite 1 because now you have pressure here in the mid lane, but then you completely avoid going for these rocks, which you want to get as much of these as you can by yourself. Because like I said, you want to solo carry games in jungle. You need to play your own game really, really hard. So you get the pressure in mid, and then you completely give it up. Because now if this current shows up on these rocks, there's nobody here to stop him from getting it. Whereas if you go to the rocks and make sure that you call your team over, then then they'll most likely be yours, and then you still have your camps to do. Because if we break it down like this, let's say you're in a very even match, there's no kills happening in like 10 minutes, and let's assume both junglers get all of the camps. Whoever gets the most neutral farm will be the one who has the lead. So if you're not trying to secure neutral farm as a jungler, then you either don't have the pressure for it and your matchups are not ideal, which will happen sometimes, or you're not being disciplined enough. And yeah, this current was over here because now we know that these stocks are down, so we completely gave up the free pressure that we got in mid, and we lost the most valuable camp on the map. And now this current has an extra 12 power in total because he has dual scaling. He had a nice back there because he got a 45 strength power spike, which is huge. Now whoever wins this fight should get Gold Fury. Dishonor jumps in. It, do you still get him? Ooh, ooh, this could be a bit rough. Oh, this fight play out nice. So you guys still win the fight anyways. Your teammates are just good spots chasing the Yorm. Because right now you guys kill two of them. You should immediately call Gold Fury. Okay, I will. I'll break this down real quick. As soon as you see this honor jump in, you see the Kern right here. As soon as you see him jump in, you should jump in immediately and try to be on top of this guy as much as you can. Because if you run on top of this guy, like if you jump right here, you'll be right on top of him. And if you're worried about the impale, you pre-beats, and he has no jump. You axe him, he might pre-ult the axe, and this guy's just cooked. You jump on him right now, get as much damage off on him as you can, and he's just cooked. Now he could turn around and do just a good amount of damage, but that's much more preferable than to not jumping on him and giving him more of an opportunity to be a menace. Now you were going for the safe play to keep your distance and axe him, but you're not guaranteed to always hit the axe from like near max range, which is why I am highly emphasizing to just jump in on top of this guy because if you jump on top of him, you'll also get the damage off on your jump. You stand switch. i- If if you also stand switch as well while he's inside the radius, he'll lose protections, which will make it even easier to kill him. Because now he impales you, he gets a full damage value off on you guys. If you more autos, and he almost killed your Apollo. Before and this Apollo still dies somehow, sadly. So how do you jump on this guy as soon as he jumped in like this? He just hard trolled here because he wanted to just equal this guy. You jump on him, pre-beads, axe, full combo while you're on top of him because it's way easier to hit the full combo if you run on top of him. And he's just kind of cooked. And it's very good that you saved your 3-1 for when he goes on the minions because so many good players like Zen will just run and cover the minions, and Ruler can punish that by just by just three uh, by just 3-1ing the way you did. Yeah, because had you got that jump damage off on him, he would have been quite cooked here. Yeah, yeah, it's good damage. Because you do miss a jump here, but had you landed the jump earlier, all it takes is one more auto, which your Apollo does hit, and this guy would have been dead. But instead, he had the opportunity to throw out another basic attack. So it's like these very small micro things matter a lot in these fights. Like he gave you the fierce opportunity when he jumped in like that. You need to punish him as hard as you can, as quickly as you can before his team can respawn. But now your teammates gave up Go Fury, and this is also where I say you kill this current, which is which is nice. Right here, as soon as this happens, you should immediately spam call Gold Fury. Attack Gold Fury 5 times, immediately spam it to these guys. And because right now you guys have the pressure to do it. 3v2, and not to mention you guys have so much pot shred between your three, your your first item and a and going 3, plus secure with Janus 2 and your 3-1. These guys can't really do Go Fury from you guys. So if you so this is something that I do a lot. You should always spam call with VGS as much as you can, and this is why I tell so many people. If you Because the more you spam call the VGS for like a Gold Fury or Pyromancer call or a Give or something or a gank, the more likely they are to listen. And if they still don't listen, then that's just then there's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, they're trying to kill a tank Yorm with ults as going Journeys. Yeah, I did hear you complain about those guys, which I completely understand. So if you have unreliable teammates like this, I don't know how the Guan Yu still died, but yeah, yeah. This is also why I emphasize just playing your own game and just playing very selfish, which kind of we're doing here, but because you'll get teammates like the Guan and Janus just trying to chase a tank Yorm and still dying. Okay, so right here, your Thor still has ult. Now it's fine that he goes for the skimp over here. Okay, this is actually really good that I like what you're doing here, but it's also kind of bad just because these rocks are up again. Because you want to be on these rocks as soon as you can, and okay, this is actually the best call for you to do. I don't know why this current showed up on the left side, which I actually did not see. So if you did see that the current showed up over here, then this is the best way to make. Because if you had instead rushed over to these rocks, he could have taken them before you could do them again. But we have vision on the left side. I really like this because you want to get as much of a lead in jungle, like you said. So just share a little more than usual in this role. Yeah, so you got the kill, 2 waves, a tower, the blue plus the plus these rocks. You got a nice 3 level lead. Beautiful. You, you guys can do the pyramids right here, just fine. I not much to say. That was really good that you held your your bow since we won. Yeah, this guy's just trolling. He's just all the way up here by himself. Oh, your Apollo got fucking cooked. Yeah, there's not much you can do about that. Ooh, this is a very scary jump. Just because we saw the nut was coming over. Yeah. Okay, so whenever there's downtime like this, I mean, yes, you're running over towards this guy. You're you're never gonna reach him in time. So for like this extra few seconds that that you can't reach him, just run straight and just look at the map and see where people might be. Because because while this is happening, I did notice that there's not path like this. So we know she's in the left side jungle, which also gives an opportunity for you to to try to catch a lacking if you can. Now they do kill him without you, but you saw this guy alone by himself. I wouldn't even if he had no vision on the nut being here. I, you still don't want to jump in like this on a lone support because it is usually a bait, and I do like that you went for a kill opportunity, but whenever you have such a big lead like this, you need to play very KDA. You need to be very mindful of your positioning always, because there was no vision on the jungler or the nuts. You, the one time you should ever jump in like this is if your tanks are going in first and you have vision on anyone who's around. Because now this nuts got a nice shutdown on you. She went from 13 to 14. Yeah, your teammates out here that they deserve to die. Like third rotation, all these camps up. Okay, these rocks are okay. This is the last rotation of these rocks. Now it shows that they despawned, but they will actually stay up until they're cleared. They will stop spawning after 15 minutes, but it shows that they're gone, but they're still here. They were. I'm pretty sure you noticed a few times they would still be up while the Queen Naga is there. But actually, this opportunity that you have right here. Let's see. Do you do it properly? Hmm. You do not. Okay. So if you look right here, oh my God, please pause. Every time the rocks are gonna spawn like this, and the camp situation is like this, you want to clear speed, run and do this, run as fast as you can, clear the Cyclops, and then immediately run over to these rocks as soon as you spawn. Because like I said, you want to be on these camp timers as soon as you can, and this is the most valuable camp on the map. So if you go here, then the rocks will spawn, then you'll be here in time for when they spawn. You you try to make sure that you get them, and then you come down to your camps, because what you do instead is you do speed, you do the Cyclops, because it shows that they're not up, but they are. They really should find a way to fix it. And now, like, if the Kern shows up to these rocks again, then those will be his. Now you probably don't know that they're up or not, but it's just a visual. It is just a visual bug. But let's say that this was 5 minutes earlier in the game. You want to path speed Cyclops and then here as soon as you spawn, and then go to your camps, because you want to make sure that you secure all the neutral farm, like I said. Okay, so right now whenever an objective like this is up, you want to look for pressure. Yeah, those things are down, sadly. So somebody did clear the rocks, unless they changed something recently. Ooh, are you out of here? Are you out of here? Let's see. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. I want to break it down here. Let's see. Yeah, so you guys start this, and the moment that these guys show up, you stop hitting this, which is perfectly fine. You see the nut right here by yourself. We only have vision on audio. We don't know where the kern is, and and like what happened last time with the Yorm, you're jumping in without vision. Cause now this kern is here. If he notices that you jump like this, if he dashes and full combos you without beads, you're just completely cooked. But fortunately, he goes for your teammate instead. But yeah, if you have no beads, especially on somebody like Ulu like this, you do not want to jump in randomly without vision. Now you go for the nut here, which is fine, but let- let's see this. Very, very scary jump. You went for the kill opportunity on her, but she has aspect nuts, which is a bit crazy. Unfortunately, you dropped the kill. Now this only went as bad as it did just because you jumped in first without any vision, and when you jump is down like that, if you're gonna jump in like this, you need to make sure whatever abilities they have that you're scared of, like for example audio ults or current ults, you need to make sure that these abilities are down. Because like I said earlier, if this current no realizes that you jumped in, he dashes to ults you, you're just done. Now, if this audio is not on top of you, okay, so if this current if his ult was down like earlier for some reason, then this would be a fine jumping like this. But you don't want to risk anything at all when you have no beads. You only want to jump in when you know the abilities that they have that you're scared of are down. Because now you get audio ulted here and you just yeah you're trapped in there, which the nuts then ults you and just really cooked here. Okay, so you're running right here. We know that the Yorm is ulting you. That's his first thing. That's his first jump. That's his second jump. And I like that you shot the thing on the ground so you can get cooldowns. Then this is his third one, and this is where you mess up pretty bad because when a Yorm gets out of the third jump like this, he will always spawn in the direct center. So if you really want to get out here, you stay in X stance, and then and if you know the timing, if you axe this guy, he'll be stunned, and then you can jump over the wall. But sadly, you did not do that, and he kills you both. I don't know why your Thor went in to help. He just completely sold. Yeah, you guys lose the team fight pretty bad, unfortunately. I'll also say one other thing. Let's see. Before you ever do an objective like this, if your whole team is all grouped up uh, and with your Thor being up here, you should always look for at least some poke or a pick in the jungle, because if you can get some free early pressure before you guys do an objective, then then it'll make going for this objective infinitely easier. Because now this Thor was making a good play by looking for some free poke, because he kept pinging up there, and had you guys been in a position when this already steps up, she could have been poked down at least, if not outright picked entirely. And if you guys get her out of the fight, then it would make this upcoming fight way way easier for you guys. Because you guys would use almost nothing to get free pressure. Because now you guys have to fight this out normally, and unfortunately, you guys lost the engagement here. Okay, okay, now time to cover the rest. Okay, so you're looking for a gank on this dishonor again. Alright, the moment that you see this nut right here, running as aggressive as she is, you should assume that she has some teammates nearby, and you should look to try and be in the area to see if if you can do something. Because right now this is very dangerous positioning because we have no vision, and if mid laner is that aggressive like that, when there's no vision on anybody in the map, then you should assume at least one person has to be nearby. And you have the honors right here, just as we said. Unfortunately, the Janus still dies. Yeah, you guys can't do anything here, sadly. Okay, so why you guys do lose to Janus? All you guys, all they can really get off of this, assuming no one else dies, is these two camps. Ooh, unfortunate. Okay, what happened here? Okay, so I would say once it starts hitting late game like this, when it comes to ULLR late game, if you the only time that you ever step up the way that you're doing is if you're looking for an axe, and this is fine. This is all good. The moment the axe misses, you need to immediately turn around. Because if you notice right here, she recognizes you missed the axe, and if and she goes in on you, but she did, you just cooked. So anytime late game that you want to look for an axe combo, if you miss the axe, immediately run away all the time. If you if you look at some, I remember looking at a solo or troll play Uller in the SPO, and that's what he did every single time as Uller late game. He would step up the way that he does right here. He he'll throw the axe out, or at least look for some poke on his three. If he misses the axe, he immediately runs away immediately because if he doesn't, then then something like this will happen every single time. Okay, don't want to say it too long, so I'm gonna fast forward some more. Yeah, so this build is actually fine. It's just I don't like Deal Sworn. Nice. Nice kills. You guys should wrap them here. Oh, that is that's crazy by him. Okay, so I do like you going into the portal in case he decides to run over here, and and if he wants to keep running down the lane, you have more of a lead. But this is fine anyways. Unfortunately, your Guan dies. Okay, so the whole team except for Kun is dead, and Gold Fury is not going to spawn. And by the time it spawns, they will all be up. So there's not a whole lot you can do. So I really like that you're looking for camp invades or for this guy. This is really good. At the very least, you could call your team to do T1 tower. But this is fine anyways. Oh, what happened here? How does your Thor die? He should be a tank. Well, they showed up at Gold Fury immediately because they assumed you guys would be on it, but you guys weren't. Ooh, unfortunate. Unfortunate. Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, you got uh, a bit greedy here. I don't need to, to explain why. Yes, unfortunately, your teammates got picked before you were able to do anything. Yeah, I don't know what this gen is doing. What the fuck? Yeah, this is just a result of your teammates lacking. Yeah, what is that guy's build? That's ridiculous. So you guys lose Gold Fairy, sadly. There's not much you, you could have done except not greet the Yorm kill. Okay, you come to cover this wave, this is fine. Yeah, so this is why that I said earlier to have split the wave with your ADC and then do the gold camp because you are the best player on the team by far and and it could sound like an ego thing sometimes, but if you recognize that you're the most impactful player on your team in jungle, then play to they should play like it. Hence me telling you to split the farm over here earlier, and when you split the farm up here, which is also super good. Okay, what's going on here? I will speed this up a bit. Let's see. Alright, so again, you go for the axe, it it misses. At the very least, if you notice that she's all the way up here, don't look for the full combo 3-1 because for jungle especially, you want to minimize the amount of damage you take. You want to take no risk at all because now y- you're like down around 300 HP, which is quite significant, 20 HP. Ideally, you want to take as little risk as you possibly can before you want to fully engage. And that's why for ruler, look for the axe. If something like this happens, evidence is huge. Yeah, you took a lot of damage here. Let's see. Yeah, this is fine here, but unfortunately, you took way too much damage. Okay, and this is also the point in the game where I don't like the build path like this for jungle. You're going Heartseeker fourth and Titan's Bane fifth, because now at this point in the game it is almost 22 minutes. The tanks have all their the tank items online, so why not you do zero damage to the tanks and all the squishy people on the team also have enough base protections to where this the Sands of Spain will give you so much value. So in my builds, I if you see all my jungle builds recently, I'm almost always going Heartseeker third and Titan's Spain fourth. Because now you're at the awkward point in the game where you're almost level 20. You can't really see it here, but you're almost level 20, and, and by the time you can afford your Titan's Spain, you'll also have around the same amount of gold to afford your starter, and it'll feel bad that that you want to get your starter and Titan Spain at the same time, but you don't have either, and you should choose one or the other. And if this happens, you should always go for the Titan Spain, obviously. And this is also where I feel like that Oathsworn Spear loses even more value, because at this point in the game, late game, if you do the math, 35% of around 70 protections that you have right here, 72 protections, that is around 25-ish, 24 to 24 up to 26 protections that you're shredding, which is already more than Oathsworn Spear's minus 20 pot reduction. And at this stage of the game, once you get 5 items in, you're as soon as you axe full combo a squishy, they're already dead. So this is where I feel like Oathsworn Spear loses a lot of value because you're already killing people. This item's not giving you you're not gonna notice you having Oathsworn Spear except for on the tanks, and by that point it doesn't really matter because in jungle you're not really focusing the tanks anyways. And that's also why I would build it versus 3 tanks like if they have a tank jungler, but yeah, okay, okay, good. You go for the axe and misses. You jump away perfect. You're staying a bit too far away from your team. You should look for at least poke with your 3-1 over the wall. I don't know if you know, but your Ullr's bow stance 1 goes through walls, so you can easily poke these guys through the wall without them knowing. That was a beautiful combo by you, Janice. Yeah. Okay, so as soon as you jump right here, I assume you're a bit scared because they might show up right here, but that's perfectly fine. But no, you do look for something? No, you looking for a full combo? Yeah. Yeah, so looking for the full combo like this is pretty scary just because of the spot that you're in relative to your team. Because, okay, so I do understand that you want to go for the full combo and try and kill somebody, but If your teammates are already like this getting pushed back, you do not want to show yourself, and because right now you're basically frontlining, and you do not want to be in this spot ever, especially for ULLR jungle. And this is where eh, now if you were like right like on this side of the jungle instead, like one right behind these pillars, and then going for the axe full combo is fine, but just because you're in this position to where you're basically frontline and your Janus also chose hard. Actually no, you didn't. Your positioning got you killed here because you were looking for the most value out of your combo instead of for the lesser reward, which is just poke over the wall. And this is where I say you need to minimize risk in jungle as much as you can in these taking fights. You want to take as little damage as you can while trying to return as much as possible. Because how do you look for poke with your 3-1 instead and just and just keep your distance? How do you throw your 3-1 on these guys over the wall? And then the Janus does this beautiful play. These guys are just both dead here, and then you just wait for your cooldowns, and then you chase these guys down, and you'll be in a much better spot. Do you guys lose here? I think you guys lose here, sadly. Yeah. Okay, so your teammates did actually troll you quite hard a few times this game. So with how your teammates played this out, I would say there was a good chance you guys probably still would have lost even if you played perfectly. But there's still, but there's still really good potential for you to have a th- there's still good potential for you to have snowballed the game. Like let's see, when was it? It was first red spawn right here. You kill this guy, their their rep us up. You take it from them. You secure both neutrals, and then you go to your camp, and there'll be and the snowball will start happening. Because if you have timer on their camp, you'll be able to make you'll be able to make a much better plan for the next time that it spawns. Because if you know that the rec the rep buff timer, if you know the rep buff timer, then you could call your support in your mid to pressure mid when it's spawning, and then you guys pressure them out. You get the rep buff and just continue the snowballing from there. That's one thing that you could do. Oh, and also be on these camps as soon as be on the rocks as soon as you can. Always as jungle, unless there's a lot of stuff you can gain, like if there's a good gig opportunity for gold, for dueling, and you can maybe get gold fairy. That's like the only time that you should ever avoid. That's the only time you should ever skip going for these rocks. But ideally, you need to be on these timers as soon as you can. Let's see, there's something else. Yeah, this gank over here. Your turn right here sort of costed you pretty bad instead of just using your pre-beats if you're scared of this guy's impale. Because had you not done a turn and instead stuck on top of this guy as much as you possibly could while pre-beating, you probably could have saved your Ulu here, no, your Apollo here. And the guy would have died sooner, which could have led to you both getting out before the current two could really do much. Very nitpicky stuff, but it's the small things that matter a lot. Right here, you teleport. These guys are doing Gold Fury. Your Uller, your 3-1 is really good secure. Like at this point in the game, it's like around 500 damage. Usually, usually close to a Sunder value. So instead of going for the camp that you wasted like 5 seconds on, you would have been here way sooner. And paired with your Apollo ultimate, it would have been much easier to secure it. Then right here, you guys have pressure. If you look at the map states, there's not much you can really do over here because you know all these camps are down. Now you're probably looking for something on this honor, but yeah, yeah, we discussed the whole ritual stuff earlier. Now, I will say this is also another tricky time to where if you should go for these rocks or not, because this ritual is very, very broken. If you can get it, I highly recommend prioritizing it a lot. But like you said earlier, the 3v3 match that you guys that you guys have here is not very ideal, but you can still win it if you guys have the early pressure. Now your Guan Yu came over here like a bot, so there's not much you can do about it. So this nut's already pressured out here. I didn't really break this down as much, but if you guys want to play for ritual pressure and make sure you guys win it, you guys easily can because you guys have because you guys have a nice head start. If you stay here and pressure the wave outs and while trying to poke out the nut as much as you can, then she'll be very very scared to step up. You call your teammates to try and get the ritual. If you guys poke out this nut enough, she'll be very scared. It could lead to at least a 3v2 against the Yorm and Kern, and you guys can then get it. So you can't give up these rocks for first ritual, but ideally your mid and support should be these the ritual right now. But this guy comes over to assist in a gank that he's not needed in. Unfortunately, you guys lose it. There's not much. Let's see. You you go for the gank here. Then the Yorm play, like we said. Ideally, you would not want to go for this play just because if he has ultimate up, he's just out. But he doesn't because he's a bot, so he gets points for it. You get free kill here. You created so much pressure and then you immediately gave it up. I mean, he could have at least had gone for the rocks here. But now the current gets the rocks, so it feels really bad. Because these rocks, okay, your Cyclops camp is guaranteed farm. This Cyclops camp isn't. Neutral farm is not guaranteed, and you want to control neutral farm. Now this is now this is where we broke down. This guy jumps in like this. He steps up the way he did. Jump on him and try to burst him down as much as you can while you're on top of him, because it's really easy to hit abilities when you're right next to the person. And if you're scared of the impale, you just P beats the whole time, and and this Apollo probably could have lived. Maybe not because he was too busy hitting them when he was low HP. But but the small micro step counts. You go for the gank on this Zardio, which is good. You split this wave, you get the tower, you get this wave as well. Really fucking beautiful, and you get all this farm. So you're feeling really, really good. Go for the you secure Pyromancer. This guy's all the way down here. The nut. Okay, X-Men's quite real already. You don't want to jump in when you have no vision of their team, especially whenever you have a lead like this, because you want to play very KDA. Because if they kill you, they'll get a lot of value from your shutdown. Now, all this could have been prevented had you not jumped in. So this is kind of on you, but also not really, because somehow they also died as well. Let's see, what was the other thing that I want to say? Yeah, look for pre look for the free pressure before you guys do interjective, especially when you guys had this good of a position to do so. Because you popped your thing right here. You know there's someone here, but the store knows that this audio is here. You guys poke this audio out. Even if you don't kill her, you guys still force her out of the fight, and this whole thing would have been very very good for you. You don't want to jump in again without beads, because this could happen to you. Or the current recognizes that you jump in, he just rushes you without beats and you're dead. Right here, you stay in axe stance, stun him as soon as he gets out, and you just jump away. Oh yeah, right here, miss the axe, immediately run away, jump out, get out. Because if you don't, you get punished for it, which happens twice this game. They're all dead, so you look for for the camps, which is good. Your teammates somehow get poked out here really bad. That's just on them for for misplaying. Then you got a bit too greedy by going for the Yorm, and you got punished when you don't have beats again. Okay, so when you don't have beats up in jungle, you really need to be careful every single time. Don't don't greed too much, because once you see and you're just cooked, which has happened I think twice so far. See what happened here? Oh yeah, the wait, this is the other fight. Yeah, there's so much you could have really done. Now this is fine, but the moment okay, I would say try to work on being a bit faster with your combos, because you land the combo, you three auto one, and then immediately you stand switch, and then 180 ju- and then 180 jump away, because that extra half second delay that you didn't do that put you down to pretty low health. Try and be a bit faster on that stuff. See, there was this fight where you basically frontline right here instead of looking for a poke over the wall, especially without beats again. And then you die here, and your teammates also die, and you lose the game. All right, so I hope that that was a good enough review. Thank you so much for helping me out with earlier, and I'll see you around. And make sure that you guys follow Horfed on Twitch. He streams every day. Really cool guy. Go show him a a lot of love and peace.